A woman has gone viral after a photo she posted of her smiling in front of a group of Islamophobic protesters. That might seem a little bit weird, but let's take a look at the photo and give you the context. So there you see her. Her name is Shema Ismail, and you see the signs in the background. They've got their Jesus shirts and they've got their anti-Islam posters, and it looks like a bullhorn. Is that a bullhorn or is that a? I don't know what that is. An umbrella?
Yeah, you know when people are preaching in the street, they have
Oh yeah, and she.
Those guys look like the kind of guys you want to hang out with, right?
Exactly.
Like, hey, you guys want to go to Denny's? No.
Yeah, and so let me give you some information. She tweeted on April 21st, "I smiled in the face of bigotry and walked away feeling the greatest form of accomplishment." By the way, that photo got 100,000 likes on Instagram and 150,000 likes on Twitter. I think people just like in this really dark time of xenophobia and Islamophobia and all of that, just seeing someone who is confronted by that and doesn't let it drag her down is a very powerful image. And so she said she felt the greatest form of accomplishment. She said, "I really wanted to combat their hatred with kindness, honestly. I wanted them to see my face, and simply walking by wasn't enough." And the first thing I thought when I saw it was, that seems at least a little bit dangerous. I mean, those people they're just protesting, as far as we know, peacefully. But if I was her, I would probably feel quite threatened being really close to them. And so she said, "My face honestly lit up when I saw them. I walked up as they continued yelling their hateful speech. I asked the police officer if I could stand at the curb in front of the men. The officer said no, and in that moment, I felt like the biggest rebel."
That's my favorite part. It's my favorite part.
Yeah, and he was yelling silly things like "your face should be covered," and you know it's a cult when you're walking outside wearing pajamas.
Wow, ooh, they got her,
they got
ladies
her.
and gentlemen.
They got her.
Okay, yeah, I mean that spirit is what makes everybody's day, right? We love that. But like fighting with a smile, right? So this is a fun story. It's a good story, feel good, etc. But those guys are crazy, and although I hear what you're saying, and she's brave for doing it, especially let's put it this way: I'm a big guy, right? So I'm not in danger. I am the danger. So we're gonna intimidate you. You wear pajamas or something. No, dude, man, don't make me make you wear pajamas. So I don't know what that means, but it means something. And so look, yeah, look, it's easy for me to say. It's a very long way of saying it's easy for me to say I'm not intimidated by those guys. I find them to be clowns. I'm amused by the fact that they lead sad lives filled with fear and hatred, and they go home and they believe all these conspiracies, like, oh my God, the Muslims are about to take over America. Should we save Nebraska or Oklahoma first, right? Like they're lunatics and they believe things that aren't remotely true. And then you know what she does for a living? She is a therapist who works with children on the autism spectrum. So, wow, what a danger, what a danger. But in their minds, they're like, oh no, she's coming for us. Oh my God, she's coming for us, right? Yeah. So I feel sad for them, but at the same time, since they're hateful people, like secretly amused that they lead crappy lives. So okay, that's how I feel about it. But it's easier for me to say that. So for her to do that, I think was just not what I would have done, but really well played, way better played than what I would.
Yeah, I picture that the person taking the picture possibly was someone that's with her, maybe is Jank-like, and is the danger. At least there's someone else there with her that's, there's some kind of help in case something goes. As she mentioned, there was a police officer there, but that's not always a safe situation for the person that's standing up against bigotry and hatred in our country either. So that isn't always the line of protection either. But when it comes to the way these guys are standing, if we see that picture again, and they're standing with their hands out like this and just looking like they're helpless because all that's left is these signs in their bullhorns, they look like children. It's folks that never made it past 8 years old. And maybe they weren't getting enough attention from their parents and they need to get attention from everyone else. Yeah. And a lot of times it's based on the anger that they had and build up from what they didn't get as a kid. So now what they're looking for is acceptance from each other. Now they're all collectively hating on anybody else they can together because now they're giving each other their credit, their worth now in life. And so sometimes you have to take people as just what they want is attention and give them the wrong kind of attention. Don't give them the attention they want. Oh man, see how she got mad and cussed us out and called us all these names and then started flailing her hands? Yeah, she's a crazy Muslim. That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
So when you make fun of them, make them look like clowns that they are, they definitely don't want that because they're just kids on the inside that are still looking for something.
What they're worried about is they're worried about America changing. They don't want it to look like her. They're worried that things are changing. If you had to choose of the two options, what future for America do you want? A smiling, happy, confident Muslim woman, or those fundamentally angry, broken men? And they're choosing to present that dichotomy to you. And I don't think they come out of it looking very good.
Yeah, but John, the answer for a lot of Americans and almost everybody who watches Fox News is no brainer.
Yeah.
Angry, broken men, right? To them, the idea of America looking like a young, happy Muslim woman, I mean, it's an anathema to them. It's the worst thing you could possibly imagine. That's their dystopia, like happy people from all different races and religions.
Although,
brace for impact.
Many would say it and not be real. Like, the last thing Tucker Carlson wants is to hang out with those guys.
Oh, so Ida Rodriguez, who's on the show often, was at the debate I had with Tucker Carlson at Politicon, and she got all worked up about this dinner that Tucker Carlson was referring to about him and his friends. I didn't pay much mind to it, but she keeps going back to that, so I'm amused by it. So here's who's not getting invited to that dinner, those guys, okay? No. She's not getting invited either, but neither are they. It's not like Tucker's like, I am for the, we cannot have these Muslim people. And they're like, oh great, Tucker, am I coming over to your, mansion? No. He's like, no.
Yeah, how
A little dangerous there.
on the weekends, do you think Trump is hanging out with those bikers for Trump? I don't think so.
Just on a podium yelling at them, that's all he does.
Yeah. Although I wish he would, because I feel like all they'd have to do is spend like some amount of time with Trump until the bikers for Trump are like, you know what? This guy's a bit of a bitch.
Maybe.
Like, nah, let's be bikers for someone else.
Yeah. I just wanted to go to one more thing. If we could jump ahead to the last graphic for this, I just thought it was funny. It was tweeted out by Miss Nature in response to that. What I see in the corner of my room after watching a scary movie.
Is there any chance he's also it?
Yeah, but can you go back to that for 1 second? Because you gotta respect a guy who's terrifying and looks like you caught him in the middle of fly fishing. Like at the same exact time. Anyway, so great job by Shema Ismail.
Look, here's the vision of America that I love, and I guarantee you the right wing will not love. Why don't we open up to more immigrants and say to the rest of the world, maybe even particularly places like Nigeria that have sent incredibly successful immigrants to America, disproportionately represented at Harvard and the top schools, Nigerian Americans are. And say, you know what, if you score, I'm gonna make up standards here, but you're gonna get the point. You score above a 1500 on the SATs. Look, you gotta learn English, you gotta take the SATs, and you gotta score, or 95th percentile, 99th percentile, whatever the standard is. You're coming to America for free. You know why? We want the best of the best from all across the world. And then we have amazing Nigerians and Muslims and Asians and Indians and Hindus and Buddhists all come to America so that we can revitalize our economy and bring that energy and passion and the smartest people in the world to us. Now, if you really believe in the idea of America, you would love that idea. But if you're in that Tucker Carlson group, you think, you're gonna bring Asians and Latinos and Africans, but we're bringing the best of the best. I guarantee you they will find any excuse to be like, well, I mean, I didn't, but yeah, maybe not. So that's and if that's what America is, I know that it will freak out the people who hate change. They're like, well, I liked it when it was mainly white people and almost all Christian. But that's what's great about America is that we change, we adapt, we adopt, and that's why we are more successful than others. Because if you're just reliant on one race, one ethnicity, one religion, you have less ability to adapt. And adapting is what leads to success. The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.